Okay, so I'm waiting for Jeremy to hop in here, and we're going to be doing this live show. I'm going to give it a few moments before that way everyone gets enough time to be able to get in here. I said roughly about 15 minutes after Norm, and Norm's going to put me probably about, because of what time he ended, we may be right about 8:45. But I'm glad to see that everyone's popping in, which is good. And definitely, we're gonna have a good show tonight. Palmetto, how are you? Chad, it's good to see you're here on board. John, Sean, I'm glad that you guys are all here. Avid, it is nice to see you. I'm glad you're here. And yeah, I just now got your message, Kevin, about going live. So I'm kind of waiting for Jeremy to make it to where he can get himself ready to rock and roll. That's all we're pretty much doing. And from that on, if you guys have questions and stuff for him, please feel free to ask. And just like all the other fishing channels, guys, we can learn from each other, which is good. And that's what it's about: learning from each other, being able to learn what's going on with different fishing and different places. And yeah, so I appreciate you guys here. I really do. Hey, just so you guys know, if there happens to be any lag that comes through, we do have a storm rolling in, and that might affect some. We got 4 people in. I see 4 people up, which is good. Oh, we got 5. Dude, that's good. That's a good start. We're growing. You know, Dana, it's straight true. Justin, how's it going, buddy? Well, it looks like we're getting hammered, but right now nothing's really kind of rolled in yet. But give it a few moments. I'm sure it will. We had some bad storms roll through on Tuesday, and they rolled through fast. And what happened was right before Grove, Oklahoma, we had 2 supercells just finally start splitting apart. And by the time they made it to Joplin, one went just a little bit north of Joplin, and the other one went just south of Joplin. And there was a tornado in the one north of Joplin going from Carl Junction to Oronogo area, Jasper area, and with Jasper, it's north of Carthage. And then there was one somewhere down, I want to say a little bit past Neosho. So, wifey is visiting with friends that we have over. I still have I still, hold my obligations to having this live show. That way, everybody can still come in and have a great time. And that's basically, that's kind of what I'm here for. It's all here for us. Have Doug Hetty chase it off with his KOAM Superman strength. Hey, Jays, how are you? All right, hang on, guys. Jeremy is asking me to send him the link, so I'm going to resend him the link. StreamYard.com/. JNR 4N 6AC.
How goes the video?
Jeremy's in the process of getting the software downloaded to where he's at, and
Lag time, pretty much.
yeah, pretty much.
Distance.
You're more than welcome.
More you guys' eyes.
Oh, that's fine. He's going to say you're more than welcome to come over here if you want. Guys, I appreciate you being patient. I really do. Thank you very much. And I'm glad to see 9. That means I'm growing good. Hi, baby. How are you, honey?
Hello?
Nick?
Yeah.
Okay, all we see is a black screen on your side.
Yeah, 1 second.
There we go.
Sorry. I was a little tired. I was struggling uni student, so I was up at like 3 o'clock last night doing assessments and stuff. So
Hey, I was gonna say my fault. I know I kept you up at least until 1:30.
no, I was getting assessments done. So yeah. So how's the fishing going up your end? So you're coming out of winter, coming out of your slow period, getting into summer, which should be quite good for you guys.
Yeah. It's actually not that bad. My son's been out fishing me tremendously with catching bluegill.
Yeah.
But me right now, I've been getting skunked here lately on trying to catch catfish.
Yeah. So obviously I've seen a few of your videos, and obviously you fish the creeks for catfish. What do you use for bait? Do you use obviously you can use, like I've followed some other American channels who target catfish a lot, and they use stuff like gizzard shad, lunch meat, basically selection of other bait fish, and was just wondering what have you found luck on, and what do you normally use for bait?
I know it sounds kind of crazy, and you wouldn't think about it, but I do more channel catfishing than I do with any other kind of regular catfishing. But the things that I've learned is channel cats will pretty much take almost anything for bait. I've seen them, attack worms. I've seen them. I normally fish with chicken livers, which a lot of people are like, well, that's messy. We don't like to do that. But you know what? You throw a chicken liver on a treble hook, knowing that you're going to get a good eater-sized fish or a little bit smaller one. You can hook him back up, go throw his butt back out in the water to go get the bigger one.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, no, it makes sense to me because like chicken liver is really, really bloody and really full of like flavor. So it's like throwing out your own bait with like a liquid oil slick behind it and would make it perfect for fishing in the creeks.
Nick's on right now. Jeremy's getting in the process of getting on here.
I thought BB was going to be on there.
He's going to. This is BB's best friend, brother.
Sure.
I love
Hi,
you.
everybody.
How's it going?
So, yeah, I found the dough bait recipe I was actually going to try out to do, which is basically now let me pull it up on my phone and I can tell you guys what it is real fast.
What did I come in for?
The dough bake recipe is flour, cornmeal,
Yep.
garlic salt or garlic powder, Parmesan
Yep.
cheese or shredded cheese.
Yep.
So I figured
Just
that
go.
actually
That also makes a good ground bait mix as well that you've got there for stuff like carp. That's what I used to use all the time. Just basically would throw in a like a can of corn into it and would basically just go use that as ground bait. And for a long time, I haven't.
So much echo. You got earphones.
Hey, Jeremy, I hear you, but we got a black screen. I don't know if it's my side or...
You got to allow the computer to access your webcam if possible.
All right. I'm going to go play with them.
Okay.
Love you.
I love you too.
Have fun. We're listening to you out there.
Yeah.
That's good.
Yeah.
But a lot of the other guys that are on here with the channels are actually on the live chat. Strawberry Jello, he said to mix in
Yep.
with
Yeah, no. Because I'm starting to get into bait making as well and like making my own boilies and stuff like that. So a lot of it is researching like a lot of like what carp, what amino acids, because that's what they seek mostly is amino acids, and finding cheap products that have these amino acids can be really surprising. I think I found out why
Is that better?
why strawberry jello and corn just work so well, because gelatin is one of the best forms of proline, which is like a very successful amino acids that a lot of bait makers use on a regular basis. And so what most likely is you've just got this big source of corn and amino acids and sweet smell in the water, and you just bring the fish in. And I wouldn't be surprised if that works as well for channel cats.
channel cats will pretty much eat anything that you can throw at them for the most part. Jeremy, you're lagging a little bit, but it could be on my side too.
Can you hear me, bud?
Yeah, we can hear you.
I suck with computers now.
Yeah, I can't, and the funny thing is I was out there fishing at the creek just the other day, or actually yesterday, and Jeremy messaged me when I was sitting there fishing. And when he told me it was snowing, I'm like, what the hell? Not thinking. Okay, it doesn't get snow. Yeah, they do.
Yeah, it does.
It's work, Mel.
Yeah, you're still a bit laggy, Jeremy, but we'll be able to hear you a bit better with the headphones in.
Hey, all I care about is
a
good live show here. This is something I'm wanting to try to do as much as possible on a weekly basis, but I don't know if it's going to be happening 100% on a weekly basis. So I'm going to try to do as many live shows as possible. Like if I can't do it once a week, every other week would be great. And try to keep as much content on the channel as possible. But we're just now in early mid-spring. Summer is literally about 3.5 weeks to a month away. summer really doesn't start here until about June 22nd. So we actually got about a month and a half on that, like calendar-wise. But
Yeah.
once it hits in the middle of June, it starts getting really warm.
Yeah, what we've been finding here is that you're not getting like due to changes in the climate, what you're getting is you're getting less transitional periods. So spring's becoming less where you're getting it colder, and it's just basically you'll have like maybe a month where it's like warm during the day and then cold during the night. And then like a month or two out normally of winter is just cold. Like we've had a massive cold snap here, and similar thing for summer. There's just like it just cuts straight from winter to summer in like a day, in a week or a month, and it's crazy. Normally
the joke around here with our weather is especially during the early fall, getting into going into winter, or early spring coming out of winter, is the joke is you'll have 4 seasons in one day.
Oh, you can have that all year round.
Yeah. We down at Melbourne, you get the same idea. If you don't like the weather, it'll change in a few hours. Yeah. Yeah, it's enjoyable. Like I don't know about Jeremy, but winter for me is where I try and spend time on the deeper sections of the river and try and track down some trophy fish, because this is one of the best times. Because we have a lot of bycatch, like mullet, like turtles will take our baits, eels.
Dude, turtles are horrible.
Yeah, we get not as big as yours, but we get some pretty big ones turning up.
Oh hell, you guys got some massive ass turtles down in the bottom of the creeks and rivers and stuff.
Yeah, no. Yeah, funnily enough, when I went out,
Can you hear me?
Yeah, I can hear you. Just lagging. You just gotta your volume's just a bit quiet. That's all.
I'm trying to work this headset out.
Yeah, no.
Fine. Do you have just a webcam in? That's what I'm doing. I got a regular webcam on my laptop.
What was that, Jeremy?
Oh, the camera's in the screen on the computer. But I only brought it yesterday, so.
Yeah.
I've got this in, but I don't know if it's...
Yeah, it's working fine. I can hear you well.
Yeah, I'm not really worried about the lag. I kind of, I know there's going to be lag on my end because I don't have high speed internet. I get 5 megabytes of down speed and maybe 1 megabyte of up speed.
Yeah.
The internet's been loud.
I get 5. But I'm glad that everybody that decided to show up is here, which is good.
Mm. Yeah, so like winter for me and Jeremy at least is going to be hopefully upgrading personal best along the rivers and trying to find spots where they're feeding, because it's going to be normally the bite for carp at least doesn't shut down completely, but it makes it a real tough going. Like I'm on a 2-month blaking streak at the moment, so I'm going to be relying on pre-feeding a spot up nearby and hopefully turning a decent fish up. Jeremy, on the other hand, seems to be catching a fish in front of me every time I go out with him. So, it's great to have such great friends helping me catch fish.
Well, I was getting ready to say that 70-centimeter one that you sent me a picture of, that's a freaking hoss. And then the other picture that you sent me, was that you holding that one up?
I have no idea of what photos he sent you at all.
That was my son.
Was
Well,
that
okay.
was that the photo that's on the group page, Jeremy? The one where you caught it out of like South Creek or something?
No, the
but
one
that
we
sucker
caught.
was freaking tall. Ah. Okay, did we get a free? Okay.
Yeah. Jeremy, I can't hear Jeremy properly. I don't know whether or not that's just because of an audio thing or something. Let me just go. I'm just gonna send you a
No,
photo.
keeps cutting out.
Yeah.
Yeah, I was getting ready to say because worst case scenario, we can put whatever you need to into the chat box, which helps.
So, okay.
Yeah, I think we're gonna go camping next weekend.
Yeah, it'll be good. I'm just sending you. I wonder if you'll paste in there. No, I'll just send it through the through Facebook for you. My personal best at the moment that I have. Let me just go through and send it to you. A second.
And I'm pretty sure most everybody that's on live feed with us right
This
now
one,
on the
Nick.
chat, I'm pretty sure most of them are already members of the page.
Oh yeah, that one from last night. Yeah, that was. It's
No.
yeah. I was freezing my ass off that night, and then Jeremy just somehow bribes them with cash every time. Yeah.
As soon as I
So
put my secret bait, 2 minutes later.
Yeah. Every
Hey,
time.
whatever bait's working is working. There's no need to change from it for sure.
I've sent you a photo of my personal best over Facebook. Not in the. I'll do it. I'll do a few photos later on in the group, but just thought I'd send you that. So yeah, I actually I caught that. There's a spot near to me in Jeremy that we normally go, but generally the fish that Jeremy catches, like that's kind of average size, which is around like maybe 12 to 10 pounds. You'll occasionally get stuff a bit bigger hitting on 15. But to really, the only way to get the good fish turning up in these spots is to basically wait until the floods happen and you get that massive amount of water through the system, and it just basically, it's either then or post-spawn, which for us in Australia is where you can easily break a personal best 3, 4, 5 times a day in sometimes. And just you're able to just fish and just keep catching fish nonstop all day. And like I caught that fish where at a weir where it was overflowing. And
Water.
what was that? Yeah, it was in fast moving water.
In the moving water at the weir,
Yeah. It was pretty fast. I didn't think I was gonna. It was a pretty slow day. Like I had really hard time starting off at that spot because I couldn't hold bottom with the sinkers that I had, and then got bigger sinkers. It was just a single corn on a hair, basically in the end, and just went. And I didn't realize. I knew it was a half decent fish when I was fighting it, because I struggled with it wasn't light gear that I was using. Like, it was still like 20-pound fluoro leader to 15-pound braid on like a boat rod that I used for a bit of stiffness and stuff like that. And I just couldn't seem to stop it in its first run. And even trying to reel it back in against the current was just really hard. But I honestly had no idea how big it was until my mate netted the fish, and the ball kind of dropped for me then. And I realized this is a fish that might actually might be able to beat my personal best, and is and is at the moment that's where I started my 2 months blanking streak after catching that fish. So it was a few weeks later that I started blanking, but yeah, for me here, it's just best to pre-feed generally in the colder months, because they just don't move as much here in the winter. They just slow down.
Damn.
And
That's a good sized carp.
yeah, that's
massive.
20 pounds. Nothing on Jeremy's 26, but still a good fish.
Now, I had caught one. I'll send you a picture of the one that I had caught.
Mm.
I don't know if Jeremy's seen it before or not. He may have. Let me find it real quick. I'll shoot you the picture of the one that I caught. I was at Spring River, which is a little river run just north of town from where I'm at. And it's not as long as that one there, but it was fat. And it was, I want to say, 18 to 20 pounds.
Yeah, generally, like, what I found is that I found that length helps determine the age of the fish, and then weight tells the health. So yeah, that's I think the photo you sent me, is that a carp or a buffalo?
It's a buffalo grass carp.
Ah, yeah, looks like it.
Yeah, that thing weighed anywhere between 18 to 20 pounds.
Yeah, I found buffaloes can get pretty big.
And boy, was it good eating.
Yeah, seems like that as well. Yeah, and so at the moment, it's more focused. It's just focusing now on fishing whenever I can with uni or college, and building a spot ready to start pre-feeding soon, and that's nearby. I've got my own one spot that I'm thinking of doing nearby, but I'll have to go build it up and check it out and make sure it's not just full of weeds and snags. But on the benefit, pre-feeding does result in like a clearing of the weed as well, and in winter the weed dies down as dies back a little bit. So with any luck, it won't be that too bad, and may be able to find a clear spot or something like that to get the fish moving in on. But it should be pretty good.
The park that I normally go
Access
fish
from
at,
the opposite side.
Yeah, I was gonna fish I was trying to go near North Richmond somewhere, but I need to do a walking. I need to walk down there and have a look and feel the let around. Cute snake.
is that a regular boa? That's pretty.
Carpet python.
That one's pretty colored.
Yeah,
Still
they're pretty
getting used to
common
it.
here.
The good thing with Felicia is she loves snakes. Thank God.
I want to get a bigger one.
We got 6 cats, and we've been thinking about trying to get a snake, but I don't feel comfortable with having it in an aquarium and one of the cats getting out to try to play with it, and the snake accidentally killing one of the cats. So it's just we kind of leave it that way. Hey, Chunky's on. Cool. We got Chunky, Avid, Jays, Chad. We got quite a bit of people on. Good deal.
What's your biggest channel cat? Because obviously, like I follow enough American fishing to have an understanding of like how you have flatheads, blues, and channels, and generally flatheads and blue blue catfish tend to be the biggest ones, but I have no real idea of how big channels get.
Channels, if the average bigger sized channel cat runs about 15 pounds. Now there are some on the higher end of that scale, and they're more rare in between, but you can get them. They'll get up to about 30, 35 pounds. And the reason why I say that is because I've actually pulled from a limb line, and I wish I had footage of it. But I used a limb line up, and I pulled a 35-pound channel out from underneath a big old ass oak tree that was right next to the river.
Yeah, is that the technique where you basically stick a pole into a bank and then have like maybe rope or like really strong fishing line tied to that pole, and then you basically leave it overnight or something like that? Is that the...
You can do that, or tie it up into a tree limb or around the base of the tree and throw it out.
Yeah. To be honest, I think that's the only possible way you could have gotten that a fish like that.
Oh yeah. They set on the bottom in deep holes in the bottom.
Yeah. Have you gone interstate for your fishing at all, or just kind of stick to your own fishing for channels? Like
I try to fish for all of them. Right where Joplin, Missouri is located, we're considered the 4-state area, and there's Missouri, Arkansas, which is south, Oklahoma, which is southwest, and Kansas, which is west of the Missouri. And Joplin sits right at the almost very southwest corner. So they're good fishing. I either have to go an hour and a half north up to Stockton, or 2.5 hours up to Lake of the Ozarks, or take 2.5 hours southeast and go down to Table Rock Lake, or an hour south down to Grand Lake and Grove, Oklahoma. And that's where all the real good fishing is around this area. Other than that, you just have to luck out and catch one of the creeks and find a good deep hole. Yeah,
that's kind of what me and Jeremy been doing. Is just because where we fish is it's basically the Nepean River where we fish hit to Weir, and then from there to the to a bridge is basically just a connection. It's just a network.
We have to go to Lake Michigan, Nick.
Yeah, seems like it. Or Lake of the Woods. I think that's what it's called.
The biggest, to answer your question though, the biggest channel cat that I've got pictured is 12 pounds.
Yeah, that's pretty good.
And when I reeled that buffalo carp in, that thing acted like it was a freaking log coming out of the water. It gave me a good fight for the first 5-10 minutes, and after that, it just gave up, and it was like reeling in a big old log. But of course, that day I was using ultralight equipment. I'm surprised the pole didn't snap.
Yeah, it does. It does. Like I've caught. I remember I went out to I drove about 2.5 hours.
If you guys have red-tailed cats.
No, they're exotic. So if we find them, they're not meant to be here. Yeah, no,
Jeremy,
because
okay if the audio is delayed on your side. If you want, if you got the chat bar, go ahead and type in the chat. We're just gonna have to make use of what we got for now.
yeah, no, red tails are found. So they're either found in South America or Asia, and that's more central Southwest Asia, like Thailand, uh, Vietnam, that kind of area. The we have two main freshwater sport fish here, which is like the ones that grow really big. The Murray cod, which is which is like would be a minimum of like a 3-4 hour drive for me in Sydney to try and catch them. And the other one's barramundi, which we would have to go up to interstate for, so drive 12 hours or longer to even have a chance of catching them. I saw one Avid asked whether or not we have any catfish. We do. We have saltwater, and then we have in the freshwater we have eeltail catfish. Eeltail catfish that we caught that we normally catch is like a bycatch. They fight pretty good for I normally mistake them if I hook them for like a small carp or something because they just hit the bait and run deep and just run up the stream. And normally I haven't eaten one personally, but I've been told that it's like the chicken of the river kind of thing. So really nice flesh to eat.
The only downfall with the channel cats around my area is they taste really mucky because they stay more in the mud. So I found whenever you after you fillet them, if you let them soak in salt water and freeze them for a day in salt water, that muck taste comes out.
Yeah, I've heard so many ways of preparing carp flesh to get the muddy taste out of it. Like so many different things, soaking it in milk, killing a fish a certain way, holding the fish in a tank and feeding it white bread for a few days. Like it's just so many different ways of trying to get that muddy taste out of the fish. But the water quality around me and Jeremy isn't the best, so I'm a bit inclined to eat anything out of our river, unfortunately. But definitely if I catch fish up in cleaner waters, I would think about eating it and having a go. But yeah, and that's why I kind of tend to target carp, because it's it's like one of the best game fish for me and Jeremy, which is like relatively inexpensive target, easy-ish to catch, and when you have the possibility of hooking a fish that could be up to 50 pounds, which is really rare.
Fight for sure.
Yeah, it's I'm hoping to double my personal best.
Easy for some of us.
Yeah, but your personal best is 26 that you caught out of a lake, right? You can't. My 20 was out of a river. It's a bit leaner and a bit meaner than yours. All right.
Hey, it's still a good sized fish.
Fishing in general.
Yeah, so it'll be no, because a lot of the it's a really interesting dynamic when you look at carp fishing in Australia, because you've just got this blend of cultures. You've got on one extreme of it, and normally the determinant factor is fish care and how far the angler will go. So on one extreme you have the expats and the poms who you hear stories when you're on a UK forum of people using, if they forget like a cradle or a mat, using like a sleeping bag or their futon or something that they're sleeping on while camping to hold the fish and make sure it's safe. And then you have, on the other hand, you have like the the Australians, the really like the bad ones who just throw them up on the bank the first after they caught them. And like it's a bit saddening because you can get really old fish. You can get really old fish found up on the bank, and it's a bit disheartening because what people forget here in Australia is that for a fish to go for a fish to reach 20 pounds, it takes about 7 years. And then to reach anything over that would be a 10 to 15-year-old fish.
Right.
So like a really old fish, and it's just disheartening to just know that some people just basically throw them up on the bank. They don't even stun them, don't even humanely kill them, just throw them up on the bank.
Yeah, I agree with you there. I'm kind of the same way. I do the best I can, like especially whenever I'm trying to reel a fish in. I try not to drag them across the ground as much as possible. And then
100%.
whenever I get them, I'll lay them down on the ground and get the hook out, and then I'll pick the fish up and go put them back into the water, especially the bigger, older fish. Now, if it's an eater size or something like that, then I'm going to keep it and bring it home.
Yeah, that's understandable. Yeah, and my issue is more or less due to just the it's mainly because they kill the fish and they just don't use it at all. Like I wouldn't have a problem if people used, like, I know there's bull sharks up our rivers, so I know sharks occur. And I know sharks do. I know you can use carp as bait for some of our saltwater fish, but I just don't see people doing it at all. So it's just a bit like it's what's the point of just killing something for the sake of killing it? And it's just a bit, it's just disheartening for me.
Yeah. Now, I'm. What
about
Felicia and
that
I've
crab
been
meat?
talking about.
Yeah, true. Yeah, that crab was pretty cool seeing up the river.
Felicia and I has been talking about thinking about getting a boat, so that way we can actually get out on the lake. Because there's some places. When I was a younger kid, my parents had lake property at Table Rock, so we were always in the summertime and late spring, summer. That's where I spent a lot of my childhood. So a lot of the fishing areas down there, without a boat, you really can't get to. But there are a couple of places that I can get to on land. But you kind of really want to be in the boat because the deeper that you can get to the back of the coves, and because the ones that I fish in are loaded with structure. Whenever I was about 13 years old, 13 or 14, we pulled up a flathead, and it was 45 pounds. And then, and that's not a small fish.
No, that's a really good fish.
I see them get a lot bigger too. Some of my friends that are down in Oklahoma, they pulled up a flathead. I want to say there was one flathead because it was, I don't know why that they kept it, but they had it hoisted up with from the boom off of like a backhoe. They had it hoisted up in the air, and that boom was 10 feet up, above the ground, and that catfish was every bit of 10 foot long. So, and the head on it was massive. So I'm going to say that flathead probably weighed a good 180 to close to very well 200 pounds.
Yeah, I have seen some videos of fish up to 100 pounds in the US, especially the catfish. It's like huge fish, and it's partly due to like your river systems are like the benefit of the US is that a lot of the river systems, and feel free to correct me, is a lot of them are interconnected to each other. So
One way
you
or
may
another,
have.
they do somewhere.
What was
If
that?
they're
Sorry.
not, if they're not connected above ground, they do connect underground.
Yeah, and so you're getting
Especially
that.
through here.
Yeah, and so you're getting that massive network of resources that fish can tap into. So like it doesn't surprise me that you're getting fish up to 200 pounds when you get like the third largest river, like one of the largest rivers in the world, flowing through the US. So
I was going to say the Mississippi is the biggest river that I know of in the United States.
hmm.
And, well, north and south anyways, because it comes out of Canada. I want to say Lake Michigan is where it starts, and then it comes straight south and dumps straight into the Gulf of Mexico.
Yeah, have you chased any gar at all?
Chase any
Gar at all? Any gar species?
I try to. The place that I normally try to go catch carp is currently closed right now. The park owner's grandparents had passed away, so right now it's in the process of going through probate until he can get it put back into his name.
Mm.
And then once that happens, and then I got a really good carp spot there that I can fish. Other than that, the other type of fish I really want to go fishing for is I want to try to catch a gar.
Yeah, I've heard that they're really hard to catch, and even when you catch them, that they're really hard to handle.
Yeah.
Yeah. I just thought I'd let you know. I've got to get back to studying, so I'll stay on the stream for about another 10 minutes or so. But after that, I'll have to head off.
That's fine. I was gonna say another 10 minutes anyways. We can go ahead and call it a show. I don't have a problem with that.
Yeah.
Snakehead. Yeah. We do have some of them around here. They're not so much common down in southern Missouri, more than they are in the northern part of Missouri.
That would be the northern snakehead, if I'm correct.
I think
the ones,
so.
Yeah, because I think the common snakeheads normally in places like Florida and
right,
and more tropical kind of spots.
Yeah, now we do have northern snakehead because they do from time to time swim through the Missouri River, which is in northern Missouri, before you cross into Iowa and Nebraska. Alligator gar would be, alligator gar, that's in every single lake that we have here in this area.
Oh, I'm jealous. I would love to catch a good alligator gar. I've seen videos of them, and they're just.
Now you can catch them. They are endangered in the state of Missouri.
So normally when they're caught in Texas. So I don't know what the laws are around there, but I know a lot of the captures happen in Texas over other places.
Yeah, in Missouri, the alligator gar is a protected species because they're one of the older fish that are here, along with the sturgeons. You can catch all the shovel-nosed sturgeon you want, but you gotta. I had the book somewhere. Here it is. I know it's either the shovel nose. There's one of them that you have to throw back because they are they're endangered, just like.
Would that be the paddlefish?
Oklahoma is the more bigger area for that. Paddlefish more commonly known in our area as spoonbill.
Mm.
Oklahoma is the best area, which isn't too far away for that because they actually breed them there. But we do have them in our lakes here. Now, going through the river systems, not as much as they are primarily in the lakes. You want a good fight, they'll put on a good fight.
Yeah, it seems like that. I seemed I think what is it called? Snagging or something like that. I remember the video was that they had sinkers on and they were just going through shoals of paddlefish and just with bad trebles and just hitting them. And catching them by that way. Yeah, no, it's an interesting. It's quite diverse, the fishing in the States. I found you've got a lot of different variety, a lot of different species, all of which grow up really big.
Now, in the more of the area that I'm from, Missouri is known for its bass fishing more than it is its catfishing. I don't know. I don't think you guys had Bass Pro there.
Not the same
Bass Pro Shop.
Not the same bass as what you guys will talk about. We do have Australian bass and fish of a similar kind of nature. So we have some perch here and some bass that like you could basically use the same gear that you would use over there would be almost easily used over here for bass, Australian bass. So they basically feed the same way as largemouth or smallmouth bass. And it's just interesting. We don't, I think Jeremy asked, you were maybe referring to Bass Pro Shops?
Yes, we have. Okay. The national headquarters for Bass Pro Shops is Springfield, Missouri, which is roughly an hour northeast of me.
Mm-hmm.
And this area has always been known for fishing for bass. It doesn't matter. We got black bass, we have rock bass, largemouth, smallmouth, striped, which is everyone calls stripers. We have white bass. We got them all.
Yeah, no, it seems like a diverse in regards to like sport fish that you can that you can really focus in on. Yeah, because I went to California for an exchange program and ended up going to a Bass Pro Shop, like a really big one over in LA, and was just amazed by like how big it was, all of the fishing gear, all of the hunting gear. It's just it's crazy. We don't have anything like it over in the US. I kept getting lost in the shops all the time because of how big they were. I remember I got lost in a bookshop. I've never seen a bookshop that big in my life.
Now, on my channel, I do have a video that says Bass Pro Shops Tour, and then another one of the, I can't think of the name of the aquarium, but there's an aquarium one too. And that aquarium is actually the new addition to the Bass Pro Shops headquarters. And
yeah, it is.
Cool.
It's really interesting. Like it's good to see that you guys spend a lot of money on making sure your rivers aren't really bad. Like they obviously you guys have a carp problem in some of your rivers, but like you guys, from what I'm hearing, the government at least spent, or the states spend at least a good amount of money on making sure the rivers have good stock of sports fish.
Oh yeah, they do.
Yeah, the same thing doesn't really happen here, unfortunately. It's a bit disgraceful how little that they actually care about just the river and fishermen, and because the issue is that like a lot of fishermen here are really lazy, and so they don't really care about the environment, or don't really care about cleaning up after themselves. So like, an area is really heavy fish because you'll just see cans of corn lying everywhere, plastic bags lying everywhere.
Right.
It's
I'm
just
the same way when it comes to that kind of stuff. I see trash, I'm going to pick it up. If there's a trash can, it's going in the
yeah.
trash can. If not, I'm taking it home and throwing it away in my trash can when I get home.
Yeah, exactly. I always make sure that any stuff I bring in with me that I take out, and if I've got room for other stuff, I make sure I grab it as well. Because it's just like, and it's just about educating people. Like, it's just getting that idea that, the river isn't just your trash can. Like, you shouldn't leave stuff there for someone else to pick up. Like, if you actually cared about fishing, you would make sure that you'd clean up your rubbish after yourself,
Right.
and treat the fish properly. And obviously, yeah, because I've been following it's called the NCCP, or the National Carp Control Plan, and it's and it was being funded by $15 million of taxpayers' money to investigate controlling carp in Australia's waterways. And it's been a little scary because they've been proposed that this virus will kill approximately 60% of carp in the waterways, when in some cases carp make up 90% of the fish in the river. And it's just like, they release this virus, and I'm expecting it to basically just destroy whole rivers, just gone. Like, I'm expecting every single fish present, every single crustacean will be gone, because the fish will die. There goes all your oxygen, and just will taint the water and just kill everything in it.
Yeah, here the EPA, like in the early 80s, whenever I was first born, and I remember from hearing from my grandpa and my parents that the EPA back then really kind of didn't really care what was being dumped into the waterways.
Yeah,
And
same thing's happening here. Yeah.
Finally, from the 80s till now, it completely changed. EPA finally stepped in and said, you guys aren't just sitting here polluting the waterways. You're polluting everyone's groundwaters. You're polluting everybody's drinking waters, and you can't be doing this. So they really cracked down more on how factories and stuff do with the so-called
wastewater,
wastewater and stuff like that, and which has helped out. And now, I mean, the fish population there for a little bit was down pretty good, and then now they finally all came back pretty good and strong.
Yeah, because it's just like, it's just educating people over here. It's sad, because for me, carp serve as like a kind of like a natural indicator of how bad the water quality is. If you have a massive population of carp, like a lot of your ecosystem is carp, well, that's a reflection that your water quality is really low, because that's the only way that they're really able to outcompete the natives here, is when water quality is really low. Like, you're having no flows in the river, and you're just getting it turning into just a milk pond. It just looks like chocolate milk. It's just so dirty. And you're not going to be able to get any of our natives feeding properly then. And they will just get outcompete by carp. And then it's just like, for me, the first thing they have to address is water quality issues in our systems. And then as that water quality improves, stock up on the native fish. So stock up on like your eeltail catfish, the bass here, and they will actually feed up on carp eggs and small carp and actually help reduce the population numbers down. But there's no point stocking the rivers with bass when you just have the same amount of water, the same level of water quality. It just doesn't work properly.
Right. And with our riverways here, and I'm not saying anything bad with them, but our riverways here, you can have a spot that is loaded down with carp, and you walk 200 yards to in another direction from where you're at, and your carp spot is now like bluegill and smallmouth bass, or you got a catfish hole or whatever, because our riverbeds aren't, most of them aren't really ever, no riverbed is ever really level, but you'll get those spots, and then you'll get the spots where there's just nothing at all, except for you're lucky to catch a turtle. And then some of our rivers here, we have the little rivers and creeks south of me are crystal clear waters, which almost every single one of those are spring fed. Now you go up north and they're still spring fed, but they're murky looking.
Just to answer, before I head off, just to answer Palment's Cat's comment. Yeah, you're right. The government focuses a lot on the salt water because all the major cities are on the salt water, so they just focus on making sure their saltwater stocks are good and all that, but they really negate the and tourism, because you get a lot of tourist fishing, and I don't understand why they don't invest more in carp tourism, because you're getting poms turn up, poms turn up to Australia like in large numbers every single year, and you're just getting like, and a lot of those they immigrate to Australia, and a lot of them are like males who used to fish over in the UK, and like, why aren't we capitalizing on this large percentage of the population that would more than happy spend several $100s on a decent set of gear? I'm in the process of applying for a grant to go over to the UK and do some work experience over in the carp industry, and so I had to compare recreational fishing in both the UK and Australia. And so in Australia, we have double the number of fishermen combined in both saltwater and freshwater than the UK do. But the UK is able to produce economically double what we're able to in Australia, which is
who eats carp?
What was that?
Who eats carp?
The UK don't, but you find a lot of your Eastern European countries do. So Hungary, Poland.
They not have cats or good bass?
Well,
they do have cat, but they do have catfish there. They've also got stuff like they've got a fish called zander that's a bit like a bass, and pike as well.
Nice. All right. I just came to let you know it's been an hour, mate.
Yeah, I know. I need to be getting out that direction to join you guys too.
Yeah. I'm really to end this here if you're willing to.
Yeah, well, I'm completely fine with it. I'm glad that you guys actually came on, because it's what my main thing is. I don't get to travel the world, but I do try to get as much research as I can, and without it coming from firsthand, it's like you can read something, but until you hear it firsthand, then it all starts, to drop in together.
Yeah, I 100% agree. Like, I found that it's you have to get someone who like either lives there, who lives in the country that you want to travel to, or has at least been there to get a really good idea of like what's the go, where should you travel, what should you do, what's the situation like, and for me, I actually really enjoy learning people's stories, so understanding where they came from, what do they do, and just to respond to Jeremy's comment, no, he didn't teach me everything. Okay, it's been the other way. It's been a mutual exchange of information. Okay, he's more experienced in the fishing. I'm more experienced in stuff like biology and actually like the science behind carp fishing. So it's interesting.
Yeah, carp fishing here where I'm at in the United States really isn't a very big sought after fish.
No.
But it's good because that means if you want to hone your skills that way, you can catch all the carp you want.
Yeah, and what I found is in the US and in Australia, the carp tend to be less wary of baits. Like I've in one lake, I threw out a bass rod with 2 split shots and a small hook, and the carp were just hooking themselves. Like I would look at my line, I would cast at a tree, watch my line bounce, and then start moving around by itself, and I would just know I have a fish hooked. So it's they can be pretty dumb sometimes.
Yeah, every time I throw my line or lure out towards the tree, I get snagged.
Yeah, it does feel like that. All right, I gotta head off and do some uni work. So I wish you guys best luck and stay
Appreciate
safe.
it.
Hope
appreciate
everyone in the chat stays well and be safe as well. And I'll head out now.
Right.
See ya.
Nick, thank you for coming on. I appreciate it very much.
All good. You have a nice night, man.
You too.
Bye.
Bye. Guys, I appreciate you sticking in and watching the show. I cannot thank you more for that. However, I'm going to have to go meet the others out in the garage. So you guys have a very good night, and thank you for tuning in. Take care.